Marquette is here. We're going to have Cam Jones and David Joplin. And Coach is coming in right now. Coach, whenever you're ready.
That's a heck of a game. For the three of us, our first time being part of the semifinals Friday night, Madison Square Garden, Big East tournament, playing UConn. Doesn't get much better than that, I guess, unless you get to Saturday. We really tried to emphasize to our guys that we had to win it on the defensive end. UConn's a terrific team on both ends of the floor. They have some advantages relative to us with their size and strength and girth and offensive rebounding. We knew it was going to be a fight. We had some foul trouble. I thought Jop did a phenomenal job coming in the game and changing the complexion of the game with his shooting and with his ability to just kind of stretch out the defense. That run that we had with him in the game, where we took the 10-point lead was pivotal, and you knew UConn was going to make a run back. Then down the stretch, I believe we had at least four, but I believe we had 5 straight stops in a row, and that's where we needed to win it.
We'll go to Ben right here in the front.
You used the phrase "win anyway" since you've gotten to Marquette. Was this like the ultimate example of winning anyway, with the foul trouble and giving up the offensive rebounds and going deep into your bench?
Yeah, I mean, this was a great team win, and in a game like this, UConn's going to make some plays. The refs called some fouls. We had, some of our best players were riddled with foul trouble for most of the game. Oso played less than half the game. But I think it's a testament to the depth that we have on our team. And, at one point I looked out there and we got, a bunch of freshmen and sophomores out there just fighting and battling, scratching for their lives. But these guys didn't blink. They were lost in a fight the entire night, and it was a ton of fun to watch.
Second row, John.
Shaka, you've talked about this team responding in moments throughout the entire season. St. John's game out in Queens, you came back from that halftime. Tonight, you kept on responding to UConn's runs. What could you just say about your team's response tonight to make sure you put yourself in a position for tomorrow with the title game?
Well, I think when we get lost in a fight, and what I mean by that is we let go of all the other stuff that can creep into the mind, all the doubts, anxieties, worries, all the stuff on social media. These guys, if you cut them open, you'll find inside of them a championship DNA. And it's pretty exciting because, these guys are just in their sophomore year. We've got 3 freshmen out there playing significant minutes. We've got another sophomore in Stevie and then 3 juniors. But the reason that they've built that character about them is because of the way they feel about each other. And that's what's allowed us to respond when we've hit adversity.
In the middle on the right.
Coach, you talked about defense. All year I've watched this team play for steals and deflections. It looked like it had a completely different mindset from the beginning of just walling up and denying it. 3 steals, you held them to 68 points. Was there a reason for the change?
No, we didn't go into the game trying to change anything. The UConn was the reason. Those guys took care of the ball really well. They had 9 turnovers. Normally we force 16, 17, 18 turnovers. We did not get our hands on the ball as well as we normally do. You have to find different ways to win. We knew that playing against UConn, we were going to have to make some adjustments, and we were going to have to fight like crazy when they tried to throw the ball inside and when they got offensive rebounds, and we did that just enough.
Right in front.
Cam, that 3 you hit to beat the shot clock, that was a pretty pivotal moment. And as a player, I feel like you have those moments where you kind of just chuck it up and pray that it goes in. Was that one of those moments for you?
No. I shot that honestly knowing I was going to make it. I feel like every shot I take, I feel like I'm going to make it. So I had a little bit of time. I felt like I could have took like an extra dribble or 2, but once I got it, I just take my time, get my feet set, and just shoot it like a normal shot.
Jamal.
Coach, you had that key stretch into the second half without Kolnick, without Iguodaro. What was the key there?
These guys managed the game really well. We've probably practiced next to never without those guys in the game. So we had a lineup out there that normally is not out there together. But again, our guys stayed together. They trusted the plan. We had some imperfect possessions on the defensive end, but there was or on the offensive end, but there was a dedication to getting stops, and they just kept fighting.
Over here, Ben, no, let's go to Ben first, and then we'll go here.
John, you had to come in, you had to battle the two behemoths on UConn, but you could space them out on the other end. So what was your mentality? How did you try to affect the game when you got in?
Just fight. When we're dealing with foul trouble, I knew I had to come in and just fight for positioning down there, and then be smart. And on the offensive end, it's kind of if they want to post me up down there, then I have the advantage on the offensive end. So they got to come out and guard me, and I took advantage of it.
We're doing two more, all the way on the right.
Coach, congratulations. Right at the very end of the game, you jumped high in the air, pumped your fist. What were the emotions right there, and would you say you still have the best jumping ability on the team?
I got more jumping ability than these two, but I definitely don't have the best on the team. It just kind of felt like, and I want to say this in the most respectful way possible, but it just kind of felt like a lot of people were just kind of giving UConn the game coming in. And, there was comments made about who owns the Garden and that kind of stuff. And, we said, wait a minute, we won this league. So we're not taking a backseat to anybody. And you can say that, but then going and doing it is another thing. And it's going to be hard. It's going to come down to the last minute or even second of the game, and it did. So that was just elation that, our guys were able to go do what we said we would do.
Last question, Gavin.
You held Hawkins at 2 for 11 from the field. What did you try to do with him, and why were you so effective?
That was the defensive key to the game. And I thought both teams missed some really good looks from three that, could have swung the game either way. But I thought on Hawkins, Omax Prosper, and whoever on our team was on him did a phenomenal job. We can beat UConn with their bigs scoring some twos around the basket. We can win the game like we did tonight. I don't know that we can beat them if Hawkins goes and makes 5, 6 threes and Calcaterra and guys are making. And they made some in the first half. But I thought throughout the game, our guys stayed attached to him. They ran a lot of different screening actions for him. And again, Omax Prosper especially deserves amazing credit for being locked in on that assignment.
Marquette, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you.
Our locker room's open until 9:25.
Thank you.
It's 9 o'clock?
See you tomorrow.
For UConn, Sonogo and Caravan. And the UConn locker room is open.
Well, there was so much, it was so close, and there was so much going on. I had to go somewhere with it. And I couldn't go anywhere. Make sure I had one defense block, and then different guys.
We'll try to help you. We'll try to help you. UConn's on its way. UConn is here. Adama Sanogo, Coach Dan Hurley, and Alex Caravan.
Obviously, disappointing loss. I just thought Marquette really jumped us to start the game. I don't think we anticipated their ball pressure. I thought they really got after us to start the game, put us on our heels. Obviously, we were fortunate to go in tied, and then just put ourselves behind the 8 ball, just giving up 18 points the first 5 minutes of the second half. Obviously, mixing in some zone and some different things. We limited them for the remainder of the game, but I just thought we lost the game. Beginning of the second half, just 18 points in 5 minutes or whatever it was.
Questions for, right here, Dave?
For anyone, obviously you guys really want them this bad. Are you confident that you'll be able to bounce back for, next week in the NCAA tournament, get right back and get the confidence back for that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more than confident in our team. We came into this being one of the hottest teams in the country, and we're not going to let one game set us back. I mean, this is heartbreaking. It's crushing us right now. It's going to crush us for the next day, but then we got to move quickly and continue to have trust in what we've done this entire season. Can't have one game break us.
Right here on the left.
Yeah, I agree with Alex. Of course, it's gonna be painful a little bit, but we don't have a choice. We have to let it go by tomorrow, but next couple of hours we have to let it go and get ready for next week, and we're gonna bounce back for sure next week. Yeah.
Coach, in the final 2 minutes and 8 seconds, the shots didn't fall. You hit your last three-pointer at the 9:25 mark in the half. What were your plans? What were your messages to the team for offense coming out in those closing moments?
Yeah, I thought we got some great looks at threes there, down 2, in transition, a couple threes to get us the lead. We just, this time of year, obviously our defense early in the second half let us down. But we toughened up a lot, and on the backboard the second half. In the end, this time of year in March, you got to make shots in big spots, especially against teams of Marquette's caliber. Obviously it felt like a Sweet 16 type of game, Elite 8 type of game. Obviously, Andre, to have him as a non-factor with the foul trouble, that hurt. Obviously a lot as well. He's heart and soul of the team and one of our best players. So thought we had chances to take the lead and surge ahead. Just didn't make the shots.
In front here.
Coach, how impressed with you, even though it was a losing effort, how impressed with you were with the bench looking like bringing the productivity that you saw when you started off 14-0? Yeah,
I mean, we would have been, and obviously Andre basically, hardly played, right? He played 14 minutes and, didn't have the impact that he has for us. And then, and credit Marquette, their defense was excellent. They're really physical, to go, 4 for 21, with the starting backcourt. Without those two, without Joey and Naheem, we're not getting a sniff of it late. So, the bench was big. I thought Donovan second half minutes, were much better. His first half he looked just a little bit behind plays. But the bench is a big part of how we've been able to get to the season we've had.
Adam on the right.
Dan, you know, Villanova's kind of been the standard bearer for the Big East for the last decade. How much of an opportunity now is this for UConn, Marquette, Creighton to, you know, extend what the Big East has done with some other teams?
Yeah, I mean, the frustrating thing for us, and I'll speak for, you know, for where we are, is just, you know, to be back in the semis for the third straight year. And, I mean, they've been pretty, you know, three pretty excruciating, you know, losses. You know, we were hell-bent on playing for championship tomorrow. That was, I think, there was no doubt in anyone's mind that we were going to, with all due respect to Marquette, we know how outstanding they are. They've got a chance to be a Final Four team this year or better. So we knew what we were going up against, but, you know, we also know we have a special team. And, you know, we're not going to do what our past teams have done, which was to maybe get caught up in the, you know, wallow in losing. You know, Big East tournament's such a big deal. This crowd is so unbelievable, and the atmosphere is so incredible that losing in this environment in your conference tournament, I think the last couple of years has put us in a bad mental state, and you know, we're not going to allow that to happen this year. We're going to get our minds right very quickly and get ready to make a run next week.
Joe, second round.
Coach, you talked about the defense to start the second half. What was there a difference in the way that they were playing on offense from the previous two games that really led to those open shots?
I think, again, I don't, you know, you don't want to make excuses, but when you're playing one of the best offenses in the country, you know, with like an amazing quarterback in Kolick, we screwed up some switches and ball screens. You know, we were really bad defensively. For us to give up 12 threes to Joplin and Jones speaks to, you know, the half a day prep that you get to play an offense like that. I think that hurt us with our man defense. Obviously, the zone, you know, the different zones allowed us to stabilize some things. But I just thought the short prep really, really hurt us because they're so hard to defend.
Two more. Gavin.
You've now got, obviously, a chance to play for another tournament. How much you kind of looking forward to that? Talking about turning the page and kind of getting ready for the next step.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be rough. I mean, you're going to be, you know, it's going to be a really terrible mental and emotional hangover. I would imagine until Sunday, and you know, I think that the difference for us is, you know, we're going to start prepping for potential opponents based on where we think we're going to be. You know, seeded, start getting a head start on who we're going to play. And we're just going to turn the page quicker than we have in past years. I think as a leader, I've allowed the disappointment of losing in the semis here to linger over the group. And this group is going to move quickly. And we know that we you know, listen, if we make one more, we get some good looks from three. We make one more shot, we win the game versus a top, you know, those are two top 10 teams that just played, you know, a high-level game.
Last question, Jamal.
Yeah, Coach, along the same lines, you dominated, you know, non-conference teams this year. Big East, such a grind. Does that give you any added confidence going into the NCAAs?
Yeah, I think so. I think we, you know, I think in general we have a ton of confidence. This, you know, this knocked us back a little bit. You know, but I think that we know that we're capable of playing elite level defense. We got tons of answers on offense. I think this league battle tests you like very few conferences will battle test you. You play so many different types of styles. Games are so physical. You know, I think that you know, we're going to go into the tournament next week and you know, and feel like we have as good a chance as anyone to make a deep run in the tournament.
UConn, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Somebody's on.